Hey guys, Librix here, and this is my mock of the ODST Drop Pod from Halo. Before we get started, I would like to point out that I am not an expert in Halo lore, I just like Halo and the vehicles. So before we get started, here are some cool shots of the mock. Starting off at the front of the pod, you can see the different pieces and techniques that went into building the geometry of the front. Of special note are the use of plates as well as cheese slopes. Now here you can see that the drop pod has a little gap, and I use this as a viewport. A function of the ODST drop pod is the ability for the pod to open up after it has landed on the ground. And you can see that my model uses a hinge mechanism to open the front part of the pod. This reveals a small area to place a minifig, and you can see that it is quite cramped. Now looking at the inside of the part that opens up from the pod, you can see that there is a small little control panel. And you also have a better look at the hinge mechanism for this build. Looking at the interior of this pod, you can see that it is tiled off in some areas. You can also see some studs that represent some glowing lights, and you can also see the two studs that act as a holder for the minifig. Now I believe weapons can be put inside of this along with a minifigure, but I have not tried that. Now looking here, you can see some of the structures that jut up from the top of the pod. Looking at the very top of this pod, you can see what I believe are the brakes for this pod, due to the parachute-like look of it. Whether or not this is the case, I am really happy and pleased with how this came out. Now, due to the design of this actually can be rotated forwards or backwards. The top can also be twisted to simulate a turning motion as well. Also, there are some parts that can actually be opened and closed, as shown here. And finally, we have the little piece that I use to keep this standing. Well, that's it for the ODST Drop Pod. If you like this video, please like, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to my channel.